All of the people I've covered so far have had a distinct similarity that makes them so easy to cover and be interested by, and that is the fact that they have been all from English speaking countries, only being from the United States of America and the United Kingdom. This makes it very easy for me to make these videos as I am able to understand them as they speak the same language. So instead of me continuing to do these videos where I can actually understand the people that I cover as well as what's going on with them, I'm instead going to mix it up and cover someone that I do not understand at all by looking at someone from the Netherlands, with this being RapperSjors, probably the most infamous and well-known Lolcow from the Netherlands. I do not speak this abomination of a language, so it's been a little bit hard for me to understand anything, as Dutch is essentially K's and J's thrown around randomly. Thankfully, through the help of a pal of mine, Miracle Man, I have been able to show translations of some of the things that Sjors has talked about and done, so now I'll actually be able to show you. Something that is a similarity between this Lolcow and a few other recent videos that I've made is that he is a rapper, and more generally, a musician. Now I don't know why I've suddenly covered so many musicians, but RapperSjors is probably the most wacky of all of them I've covered in this period. But enough of this needlessly long introduction where I ramble about absolutely nothing. Let's go and look into Sjors at the beginning of his impressive career. Sjors would start his musical and his YouTube career through actually quite a normal way, with him having an awful camera in what I assume is the late 2000s or early 2010s, with him doing vocal covers of songs. Yeah buddy, that's what's up. These vocal covers, as you'll soon see, are definitely great, with Sjors' strange Dutch accent making his singing peculiar to both Dutch and English audiences.
My feet can't touch the ground, and it feels like I can see the sands on the horizon every time you are not around. I'm slowly drifting away, wave after wave after wave. I'm slowly drifting.
This actually had quite a strange effect for Sjors, as I believe this got him some media coverage. Now, media coverage isn't too out of the blue for Lolcows, with Christian appearing on shows like Opie and Anthony and other media sources. However, none of these appearances were really as notable as the media appearance that Sjors would have, where he would be interviewed on a show.
Wat is uw uiteindelijke doel?
Mijn uiteindelijke doel, dat is om zeker hier in Nederland bekend te komen staan. En de beroemdheid, de meiden en een hoogwaarschijnlijk contract bij een of andere studio.
Ja.
Dit is een foto van mijzelf die een fan gemaakt heeft van mij.
U dus heeft dus al fans?
Ik heb in ieder geval wel al fans.
Mevrouw Peter, bent u trots op uw zoon?
Ik ben heel trots op mijn zoon.
Net pindakaas gegeten dus. This is my life and this is what I am. I'll rap for day and night because this goes about my life. And I wanna now survive. I'm have the feeling, motivation and passion. And I see myself on the next concretion. This is the life I live because I'm takes it big. And this is now what I do. I makes a hit alone without somebody because I'm telling the world now my story. I'm half days just like racers because fuck all of these faces. I know I can be famous and too I'm have the flow, but the feeling is fucking so obsessed.
This would actually be followed up with a sequel sometime later, with the network coming back to Sjors for a bit of an update. But this is mainly lackluster, with all that really happening in it is his apparent fans, with like 50 quotation marks, getting pictures and autographs from him, as well as Sjors playing at a bar of some kind, an experience he calls magnificent. Developing a timeline for Sjors is pretty difficult for me to do. I'm only really able to definitively show you the beginning and the more recent parts of Sjors, but there is more than enough stuff for me to talk about during this period of time, as he's a great man of substance and uses his time with a diverse range of topics. But before I get into more stuff that Sjors has done, let me actually do more of a proper introduction onto who he is, as all I've really shown so far is that he is Dutch and that he is a musical person who is actually very bad at it. As I showed with his vocal covers, Sjors' ability to sing in English is strange to say the least, and according to my Dutch source, Sjors' Dutch accent is also strange. This makes his catchphrase,
Yeah, let's go!
so iconic, a catchphrase he often has to use as he doesn't really know what to say, likely being one of the most socially awkward people I've covered on my channel so far. But we'll get into that in some more detail later, as well as some details you don't want to hear about very soon. But before we do that, let me show you some shit edits I decided to make for this video.
Yeah! Yeah!
Let's talk about one of the most important things about being a rapper, muscles. For some reason, Sjors thinks that being built well is a necessity for the rap game, and whilst it is definitely something beneficial in general, it doesn't really have much of an effect on Sjors' professional field, as image in the rap game has never really been something crucial, like at all. Despite this, Sjors has felt the need to talk about this multiple times, even showing a video of his apparent gym, which is definitely not just a room that is filled with loads of random exercise equipment, and boasts about how all of his equipment is second hand. I have no idea why this is such a big sticking point for him, it just is. If you wanted even more proof that Sjors doesn't really know what he's talking about, here's this video of him lifting weights with extremely good form.
Yeah.
To be fair, Sjors definitely has one of the better physiques of all the people I've covered so far, with him debatably having the best, although this is still only in dad bod territory, something that isn't great considering he's in his early 30s. One last thing about Sjors' rapping before I move on, because a lot of the stuff around Sjors doesn't actually revolve around him being a rapper, because, well, as you've seen, he's simply not very good at it. This means he doesn't actually have a real audience, leaving only trolls who only orbit him because they find him funny, as well as children for some reason. To show this off, here's some video evidence of him rapping to pretty much only children. Another quick video is of Sjors rapping to children where he raps so poorly he manages to embarrass himself, which is actually quite a hard thing for a Lolcow to do. As you know, a lack of self-awareness is a common and very important trait for Lolcows.
Mijn naam is RapperSjors, ik word geroemd. Yo, yo, check it out. En dit zijn al mijn fans. Laat je horen voor RapperSjors. Oké, ja, leuk toch? Stappen we net uit de auto, komen we fans tegen. Dat is niet altijd zo. Oké, wat gaan jullie doen? Gymmen, oké. Dat is sportief van jullie. Jullie gaan naar de gym en gaan nu sporten. Achteraf zijn jullie klaar. Ja, het rijmt niet, maar nee, weet je wat het is? We zijn al de hele dag op aan het nemen. Ik moet nu even mijn verstand erbij houden. Die mensen zitten allemaal te wachten. Dus we gaan nu gewoon beginnen. Box. Ook naar binnen. Oh, dat is toevallig.
Let's talk about Sjors' living situation. As I stated before, Sjors still lives with his parents, and they both know about Sjors' online and real life situation, and I've talked to the media with him as well as being quite big parts of some of the things he has done, appearing in vlogs where they took him on a holiday with them, and appearing with Sjors when he's been covered by a TV show, which happens surprisingly often, with this being the only time I can think of that a Lolcow is so readily approached by the media, with even places like Wikipedia still refusing to believe that Christian exists. Now, the real reason I brought up Sjors' parents is because I actually want to move on to talk about Sjors' love life, and by that I do not mean that Sjors' parents are involved with him Christian style. What I am referring to is age. Sjors has a bit of a fondness for women who are a teensy little bit older than him, as you can see in this video where he is with a woman named Anita, who he simply calls the older one, and gets a kiss on the cheek from. Sadly, from what I know, this is essentially the last and only time we would see the two of them together. But don't worry, this wouldn't be Sjors' last leap into love, with him having two other public relationships, I think. Saying relationships might be a stretch, as I don't know if these relationships are bred out of love or money, and you'll see specifically why in a few moments. Sjors' more recent and probably most notable relationships are with him and transgender women, with this happening twice now. These were featured in a couple vlogs and are extremely uncomfortable to watch, as they are kind of just around each other not speaking, with Sjors saying yeah and let's go occasionally to try and make the situation feel comfortable, although his anxiety in these situations is very clear to be seen. However, one of Sjors' partners was shown a lot more, if you get where I'm going with this, than the other one, with Sjors making a sex tape with them. Obviously, I cannot show this video to you, and nor do I think many of you would want to see it. However, because I think it's really funny, I'm going to read out a summary of the events by someone who has watched the full video. There is a lady with a dick lying on her stomach on the bed. In the background, you can hear Sjors mumbling something in poor English. The woman is eating a Snickers. RapperSjors climbs on top of her, saying she is really amazing. He adjusts the camera so his face is in focus. He starts stroking his dick a bit to get it stiff. He climbs off the woman again and tells her to suck his dick. His cock now comes into view, about 10 centimeters long. He confesses that he is a little nervous. The woman gives him a somewhat unenthusiastic blowjob, after which they both get down on their knees facing each other on the bed and jerk off and kiss each other. The madam has a significantly larger dick than Sjors. Sjors gets off the bed to put on a condom. A WhatsApp message arrives. Mrs. starts gently slapping Sjors' face, to which Sjors responds with a surprised wow. Sjors lies down on his back on the bed, whereupon Madam begins to suck him again. Another WhatsApp message arrives. She climbs off of him. She climbs off him, grabs a tube of lube and lubricates her anus. The Madam now lies on her stomach on the bed, after which Sjors tries to put his genitals in her ass. She has to help him a little with this. Sjors then begins to thrust, while the bed sounds like it's about to collapse. After a minute, the lady turns around. Another WhatsApp message arrives. They are now doing it in the missionary position. After another minute, Sjors feels like doing something else. He wants to take her without a condom. He is now lying on his back and the lady is on top of him, without penetration. Sjors keeps this up for 20 seconds. The two embrace again. Sjors masturbates while she kisses his body. The madam looks bored into the camera. Next, they do it doggy style. Sjors repeats his request to do it without a condom, but the madam refuses. They change positions again. Again the missionary position. There is no penetration now, but mutual masturbation. Sjors then comes while heavily panting, and the madam has to laugh about it. Sjors then points the camera at himself and closes the video with a yeah! I hope you enjoyed that long description, but unfortunately for you guys, this would not be his last attempt at video fun, although this time not even with a real person, and instead doing it with a doll, reserved for recreational purposes, as in penetration. You would have thought that this would be quite dull, but as someone who has regretfully watched both of these videos of Sjors, the video I'm talking about now actually has a lot more energy than, the video with an actual person. It really is a testament to how impressive Sjors is, as he manages to maintain a better on-screen chemistry with an inanimate object than a living, breathing thing, but I think the real loser in all of this is yet again me, as I keep having to watch these cretinous videos. What has gone wrong with my life? As you might remember, Sjors is a rapper, and so this of course means that he's rapped about his escapades of his adult videos. More recently, things have actually been quite spicy with Sjors, but before we get into some of the more fun things that have occurred to him, let's get into some of the more serious things. Kinda. It's still kinda funny, and this is because this happened soon after Sjors made this video.
Yo, iedereen nou net klaar met mijn optreden in Hogeveen. En ja, het was super. Alleen ja, er waren biergooiers. Ik heb Hogeveen, jullie mogen allemaal de tering krijgen. Ik hoop dat jullie allemaal in Hogeveen, in heel Hogeveen, sterven aan zware kanker. En vooral die mensen die vanavond aanwezig waren, die mogen gewoon sterven aan de gevolgen van...
There really isn't much from this time period, as normally when there's such a traumatic event in someone's life, trolling stops, or at least slows. Well, sometimes. Actually, very rarely now, but this was one of these times. This kind of puts us to modern day Sjors, where there has actually been quite a lot of recent happenings. Remember the transgender women I was talking about earlier? Well, Sjors took it to another level, supposedly by becoming transgender, and you'll see why I said supposedly soon. He would often post pictures of himself with filters on, making him look like a woman, as well as talking to the media about being transgender. This would be the extent of Sjors' transition, and sadly, I cannot show you a lot of this evidence because literally a day after I looked at his Instagram featuring all of this content, he deleted it all. If you thought perhaps he just changed his mind on this transition, this is also very unlikely, with someone messaging Sjors, probably catfishing him, where he simply states Ben Man, which I've been told translates literally to am guy, so yeah, he wasn't transitioning the whole time. I guess he just did it for the clout. Who knows? Sjors isn't really much of a mastermind, so I mostly doubt it.
Yo iedereen, zoals jullie zien, kom ik ervoor uit. Ik ben altijd een vrouw geweest. Ik heb dit jarenlang weten te verstoppen. Sorry.
Most of what Sjors does is extremely Dutch, with him just posting about bikes recently. I assume the majority of you, like me, could not give less of a shit about bikes, so I won't get into this. It's just a drastic change from his transgender posts, and not really interesting. There probably is more I could say about Sjors, but I'm not Dutch, so trying to say everything there is to say about him is hard, especially when I'm so piss poor at it in my other regular videos, where the subjects of the videos are, not Dutch. So good luck trying to get me to be good at what I do. And on that note, thank you for watching. In the description, you can find my Twitter, where I post the occasional tweet and retweet, as well as my second channel, where you can find stream archives as well as clips from when I could actually bother. Once again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.
Let's go, yeah! Yeah! Yeah, let's go! Yeah, let's go! Yeah, let's go! Yeah! Yeah, let's go! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah, let's go! 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 Yeah! Yeah, let's go! Yeah! 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 Yeah, let's go! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! 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 Yeah, let's go! Yeah! Yeah, let's go! Yeah, let's go! Yeah! Yeah, let's go! Yeah! Yeah, ben rapper! Yeah! 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 Yeah!